testimony you're about to give before this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Oh my God, it's like she's levitating, rising above them all.
Yeah.
But so modestly. Like she's radiating love to everyone.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's got to be holy. She's so calm, so sure. And no one expected, my God. Did you believe her?
What?
That she's telling the truth.
The truth that...
that it happened like that she does remember it.
What are they saying now?
That she's credible. Credible, what do they mean?
Well, that they believe her, I guess.
That it's true.
It could be that she's not lying anyway.
The women are saying they believe her. Oh, now the men too, they're agreeing. Oh my God, there's a guy on the committee. He just said it too. She's credible.
What a word. Wow.
They can't deny it. She shamed them.
Well, they don't dare say what they'd like to do.
No, Bob, she was so strong, they were awed.
Or they figure female constituents are watching.
But they were sure she'd be intimidated, that she couldn't stand up to their questioning.
They don't dare not believe her.
She's an earthquake. No woman hearing her can deny. We all know that truth. The earth is shaking.
Hey, hello. Hotshot. Joy's shouting at me. Yes, we're watching. No, here's your mom.
Yes, Joy. After all I know she could not have been better. Bingo. My communications faculty should all have been watching.
Ellen, ask her if she's taken her SATs. No, wait, ask her if she's getting her applications in.
She's too excited yelling about this. I'll put her on speaker.
Mom, it was unbelievable. She was transcending. She reminded me of Joan of Arc and Lily. Remember your Lily?
My who?
The play you did. Lily, the comic who wants to be Joan of Arc.
Oh. I haven't seen that script in years.
You gotta find it. Lily'd crush this guy Kavanaugh.
Joy, have you finished any college applications?
I'm on it, Dad. Finished Yale already, plus my Dartmouth essay.
That's great, honey.
I have one word for you, Joy.
Why are there only old white men on the Judiciary Committee?
Are you sure?
That word is Barnard. The women's college?
Your dad's yelling Barnard.
Ask Dad this. Why have we got patriarchy in the first place? Do you guys know there are 50 countries on Earth where the status of women is higher than in our United States? Says the World Economic Forum. So there. Hey, that's the paper I'll write for civics. The mistrial of St. Joan.
What's all that noise?
The whole campus is seriously pissed by this. Talk to you dudes later.
Thanks for calling. I'm thrilled you got to see Christine testify.
Joan of Arc. What's that about?
Oh, you know, she's been obsessed with Joan since kindergarten. Heroic girl, leads the army, saves her country when no one else can. What's not to like?
If you ignore Joan's death, she got burned as a witch.
By a court full of powerful males. Joy is right on, Bob.
Because here we go again.
You know every woman is asking, why are they all men on that committee? A table load of wagging dicks scrambling for an exit.
Oh, it won't matter soon. Dick's a roadkill in the path of a stealth female.
Are you accusing Christine of stealth?
No, not her. I mean the leader of the house.
She wasn't even in the room, so what's your point?
Dicks are hard power. They force you to do whatever, but soft power makes you want to do it, draws you in, surrounds you.
Sounds pornographic, Bobby.
Like it or not, soft power is the way women equalize.
Christine was 15 when he assaulted her, even younger than Joan. Joy had a Joan costume, remember? We must have pictures. It was Halloween, could be second grade. She had a sword and armor. She insisted on going as Joan of Arc. You've got to remember.
Yeah, maybe I do.
Today, one brave woman finally speaks, and every woman on earth is struck dumb. Hearing a truth finally that we all know in our gut.
Testify, sister.
No, even if the sky falls, this truth can't be unspoken.
Hallelujah.
Dream on. What Joy said was, I should assign this testimony to all my communications faculty and students as an example of perfection under duress.
Did Joy answer you about applying to Barnard?
No, dream on, honey. No.
Well, that testimony was more than perfection, though. It was a miracle.
Oh, here he comes. What on earth can he say for himself? You heard Joy. She challenged you. Why have we got patriarchy? She wants to know.
Like mother, like daughter.
Yeah, well, it's time I knew too.
Time you knew what?
Don't play dumb. Why? Why patriarchy?
Whoa.
Well, I'm way late in asking. From the instant I knew Joy was female, I should have been ready with an answer and solutions, not half-baked ones handed down from subjugated foremothers. If I don't know the answer to something so vital to our well-being as women, why are we ruled by men? How can I properly mother either Joy or me?
I wonder if you understand the immensity of your question.
Of course I don't. But I'm starting this minute, ready or not. Ready? How did you guys get to be boss? Earth mothers ruled before you did.
Yeah, there's a few figurines and statues, but
A few?
they're circumstantial, they're not official history.
You mean not accepted recorded history, as in written by, let me see, men?
Yes, we drank beer. I liked beer. Still like beer.
Oh,
Drank beer. The drink
he's fierce.
What, is he whimpering?
Well, who wouldn't whimper being attacked by a female you assaulted?
But does he look like a judge? He's pathetic.
Okay, Dr. Head of Communications. What's his strategy?
Desperation. He's exposed, plus terrified of crashing from the height he's reached.
Figures.
Enough of him. Don't put me off, Dr. Cultural Anthropology. Women were not always ruled by men. Don't try to tell me the evidence is circumstantial.
Well, you may be right. Let's look at supply, the likely determinant.
Supply, meaning which sex provides what they need?
Yep. In times where women foraged or planted
Or you ran the hen house,
or hunted game,
which women did.
of course they did, nearly as often as men. Times like that, there's matrilinity.
Where the mother's line leads?
Or at least you find equality, not subjection of women by men. But if the food supply gets thin, locating game means hunting trips far from home. If crops don't deliver, and when babies are born,
Papa has to bring home the bacon.
Mom is dependent on Papa for food, so he may call the shots.
But they didn't always take females as booty to be traded?
That's another phase entirely, invasions. Horrific. But growing your tribe gives you power. You control reproduction, you kill off enemy males, take their females, make them your harem.
No, that's hell.
You bet, but pay it forward. Isn't giving your daughter in marriage, trading her off to another clan?
Don't say that. You mean her husband's clan, where she has to fit in, be obedient, stay in her place?
You asked.
Joy asked. Your daughter wants to know.
Then I'll tell her once more, Barnard.
She doesn't want to hear it, Bob. Going to a women's college is saying you don't have the stuff to make it with men in the room, that you can only become your most powerful self in isolation.
They don't isolate women. Powerhouse innovators come out of Barnard. They blast them off and give them a better chance without having to do a sex dance.
Derailing that dance is what Joy thinks you're after, that you want to keep her away from men.
How am I going to keep her away from men? She's your daughter. Give me a little credit.
Hey, we're talking about you. No, we've got work to do. We turned it off. Yes, he howled like a stuck pig, and he'd flunk freshman speech. Put you on speaker.
He's repulsive, Mom. No dignity. How do they nominate him clerk, let alone the Supreme Court?
Hey, hotshot. Watching your nation at work?
It's a farce, Dad. He comes across like a creep kid who got aggressive when he couldn't get any.
Is that how they teach you to talk in that prep school? Why aren't you in class?
We're all freaking over this. They're saying the FBI will investigate, but what can they do?
Thank God. If it's real, we'll actually investigate.
Something could happen. There are more allegations, plus vicious drunk reports.
Which is not a hanging offense, unfortunately.
No, it goes to character, though.
Plus, he lied to them. I'll Google the evidence.
No, he's not worth it, Joy. Write your civics paper on Joan's trial. That's perfect for this moment.
Pleasant dreams, hotshot.
They don't want to investigate. They want to vote him in quick to hide this embarrassment.
Do you really think they'll dump a skunk on the court? Now, relax. I thought you had grades to get in.
I can't relax until I find that original sin.
Well, I've got to finish with these essays. What original sin?
The one that started patriarchy. I've got to search human history.
Babe, it's only a century since you got the vote. How can you hope?
Oh, better not remind me, babe. You're lighting my fire. There were goddesses and queens. This nominee is one puny criminal in an endless lineup, but he's propelling me straight into an eons-old domination conspiracy of men over women.
Deadly serious, then. And you're going to solve it? Now, excuse me while I get back to sophomore globalization essay. Ooh, sorry, friend. You're going to have to start thinking outside the box.
And there were goddess temples.
Well, you can title your publication, Patriarchal Characters, Their Crimes and Atrocities.
Don't mock. And forget grading. This is for your daughter. And if my lane is communications, yours is time and culture. So get in the ring with me, Professor. If women are not inferior by nature and never were.
I had my doubts.
Don't you dare.
Till I got this daughter.
Why has it been 5,000 years? Hell, it took more than a century just to vote. Now another whole century's gone by and one patriotic woman still gets bludgeoned by obsolete dicks.
Ooh, harsh.
You watched it happen.
I admit, my dearest Helen, that it's a puzzlement.
You won't get out of this by replaying The King and I.
I think I've got it.
Or My Fair Lady. No, how you love to recite tidbits of history and complain that I'm not listening.
Because I'm the only one who's interested.
Well, light your candle, bub, because here comes your chance to be heard. I, your most humble wife, hereby solicit any tidbit of history, culture, or politics to illuminate my premise. And I promise you, you have my full attention.
You sure know how to seduce a girl. Your premise: if women are not inferior, despite those, I hate to say, billions of, what's your word? Oh, dicks, who are vested in swearing their women are beneath them. If it is given that women are not inferior, why are the dicks still ruling the women, I ask? Now you may say, women don't realize they're equal. And I suppose given societal mores and their training straight from the cradle, it is perfectly possible these women don't know any better. But here is why I doubt that. Because I've had enough. A cultural tradition, if you will, interested in observing your sex to suspect that you sense and act on your sense that you are at least as smart as the men who surround you? So much so, you know you can play poor little me and effortlessly control every one of us men.
Point to you, Your Grace. I agree. Most women are likely aware they are not inferior. So tell me, is that what you mean by stealth when you name the Speaker of the House?
Right, that's what I call her style. It's stealth. But that's only because initially Nancy's adversaries underestimated what she's capable of. Stealth is just one of her skills. Our speaker has done what no other female on this continent has managed, and all while working completely inside the patriarchy. I compare her accomplishment to the wonders wrought within her totally sexist environment by England's Elizabeth I, except Queen Bess inherited the throne, so the dicks had to obey her.
Gotcha, and agreed. Our speaker's a miracle to a degree, matched only by the notorious RBG. But look where we still be. Witness the screeching nominee who aims for a spot beside our Queen Bee RBG.
Precisely. Why are we still in such a predicament?
If women know deep inside that they are extremely equal. No, you're not going to say we like this pit we're stuck in.
Madame, you tell me.
Oh, no. I have worked my whole life to, and my mother did, and my grandmother did.
To what?
To be allowed to work, to get rights to my life, to oppose abuse, to...
Bit by bit.
Are you saying I should have revolted?
Well, of course not. Revoluting is a miserable life, but blaming yourself can't fix it either. I've wrestled with this inequity more than I admit.
You hide it well.
What good can I do? Frankly, my dear, the implacability of the patriarchy terrifies me.
Terrifies you.
Their crimes have banked up tinder so long. We're in for an apocalyptic explosion if women ever decide to revolt.
And you've been sitting on this terror.
What can I do with no clear way out of it? Nothing. My gift to search the past means all I could do, besides love, support, protect, if I can, you and our daughter, was to guide my students to enlightened behavior, teach them to learn, to think. But what's happened today, because this woman spoke, every person within range of media heard what we didn't want to know. Nobody wanted to know this, but we do now. So now, we're all responsible. I should have warned you. No doubt, call it peace in my time.
Like the planet's health? Sometime, next time? Are other men aware of these crimes and unfairness?
How could any man with a brain, with a heart,
with a soul,
how could any such man not be aware of this Armageddon baiting unfairness? Culture has been stacked against women for 5,000 years, despite a faint memory from previous millennia that women ruled then, and far longer than 5,000 years. During all patriarchal time, while we boasted ever-increasing knowledge, it is beyond shame that only by the flimsiest chance did any fragments of female history leak down to us.
So, if powerful men weren't in her story, we wouldn't have known about Joan of Arc?
Joan of Arc might be unknown to us. The brainwashing you were bequeathed is too sad, love. You don't want to go there.
No, you're right, I don't. But I have to. Now or never. This snake oozing toward supreme power, despite all the Me Too rocks we've overturned, calls for an all-out battle.
Now I can say it. The greatest goddess is known. The most sophisticated ancient worlds worshipped her under many names. But our prissy archaeologists took forever to get that fertility images weren't just pussy, but the goddess of creation, life itself. We anthropologists always suspected those towering graces Minoan women at Knossos ruled as well, even if they were nearby the Greeks.
Everybody knows Zeus was a super patriarch and a lech, but Greeks worshipped Athena, his daughter too. Of course, you could call her a daddy's girl since she leapt straight out of Zeus's forehead, ready for battle, right?
She did, except it is just a bit more intriguing than that. What I'm about to tell you reveals what Zeus was actually up to. Of course, if you'd ever met Athena's mother.
Drag on the play. Athena famously did not have a mother, no mother at all. Plus, ancient Greeks were the most poisonous woman haters of all.
Worse than the Taliban, you think? Score to the lady! You know why Athena had no mother?
Because Zeus was such a hot shit, he birthed Athena alone without benefit of any female at all.
You never heard of Metis, then?
Metis? What's Metis? If you're making something up.
Tripped you with my Greek trivia? She's real, from Zeus's own family of Tritons. Metis is, in fact, a supremely powerful goddess renowned for wisdom and cunning, like Odysseus, the highest qualities Greeks honored. Imagine the ruler Metis was.
You can't spin a yarn, Doc, apart from how cute you are.
Don't distract me. You won't get this if you miss a step.
Okay, I'll behave. What's Metis got to do with Athena?
The goddess Metis was Zeus's first and arguably his greatest wife, as well as being his cousin. Imagine Metis as the queen of heaven.
I should believe you. It's the first I'm hearing of her.
Like everyone else. You know, Metis would make a far better judge on our court than this joker.
Don't stall. What did Metis do?
She was so powerful, Zeus got very scared of her.
Almighty Zeus got scared? Hoopla!
Because it seems there was a terrifying prophecy that Metis would bear a child, not only more powerful than Zeus, but that child would overthrow Zeus himself.
Ah, the king can't let that happen.
Certainly can't.
So what did he do? What did Zeus do? Murder Metis so she'd never have a child?
Of course not. Remember, she's a goddess, plus a delicious one.
So
one night, soon after Zeus heard the terrifying prophecy about his beloved queen, the two of them are lying there up on Mount Olympus, going at it.
And
Zeus swallows Metis.
He what?
Zeus opens his great godlike mouth and he swallows Metis. Then he burps. And congratulates himself, thinking that's the end of Metis.
But it's not?
No, it's not. Plus, what Zeus doesn't know
Yes, tell me.
is that already Metis was pregnant with Athena.
Oh, so Zeus's all-powerful goddess wife is down deep in his innards, pregnant with her fetus.
And since Metis has nothing better to do, down in Zeus's innards, as you say, and since she's determined her daughter will be a world-class fighter, Metis begins down inside Zeus
To hammer out a helmet for her fetus daughter?
which hammering inside him gives poor Zeus, excuse my pun, the mother of all headache, until Zeus bellows for Hephaestus, the blacksmith god, who comes running with his mighty axe and whacks Zeus's forehead wide open.
So out leap Zeus's and Metis's daughter, Athena, all grown up with her helmet, spear, and shield, all made by Metis. Athena's powerful, wise
Don't forget cunning.
mother. Athena did have a mother. So patriarchy in Greece is a lie. Fake pot of poo.
How could anyone have thought otherwise?
But all the Greeks did. They thought Athena was her father's daughter only, so we bought it too.
Ask yourself why Greek scholars don't talk about Metis. Too powerful a female.
Because Zeus, her father, to be sure he stayed king, had to have birthed Athena alone. And so Athena would love only him. He had to erase her mother.
Plus, to be sure that Athena would never try to defeat her beloved daddy.
She became daddy's girl. Oh my God. Once Zeus swallowed his wife, their entire civilization stuffed women into their place. It's a swallow the goddess trick that keeps on giving.
And what came after the Greeks got worse.
Don't think I'm up for worse.
Ooh, Pandora, too late. It all spilled. Patriarchy trampled matriarchy and spread worldwide. But you don't have to go raking through
all the pain.
You know what to do with it. You've got instinct, Helen. You're angel fire.
No, I have to see where men took us. I have to know every step of how we got here. I'll never unravel this if I don't. There's war, and more war, and religions, a ton of them, and each roping off their women. We didn't just annihilate ourselves. Why didn't we just annihilate ourselves? Just jump off a cliff.
Stop.
So what clobbered women for good had to be the one God.
Stop now. Now. I'm a heathen, but your family and you.
God the Father, the Holy.
Helen, let me know if I can. Okay.
Listen, God. I know I usually start with, dear God, please, something or other. And we both know you're my last port in the storm. I count on you for being there when I'm desperate, but now it's the beloved Father. I don't know if you're there anymore for me, because here's the thing. You are completely male identified. Did you realize? It should worry you, because it may be it's the beloved Father that did us females in. Now, I'm not saying you intended to diss females, but I hope you're aware of what happened to us. We all, even the males, count on you to keep track of what's going on down here. So I hope you know the mere idea of ultimate authority being paternal, of you being male, made you the lever by which trillions of women have been pounded senseless into their place. So it could be that we've had enough of it. Call it a trial separation if you want. But I've got to get out of our deal, because what you have done to me. No, wait, first, if you are there, what are you? Because if you're female, like the goddess, maybe we can deal later, once I know what you've been playing at. If you are female, why would you let females be trampled all these years? I know a true God of any sex may not have intended that the majority of creation be exploited, abused, and degraded by its opposite gender, but you have to let it happen on your watch. And somebody has got to cry foul. Oh, God, we women are in such trouble. Why? Because we're cursed. So men yell witches whenever we act up and kill and burn and drown and butcher us by the thousands like your most devoted girl child, Joan of Arc. Women always knew things men didn't. We were a mystery to them, so we must be evil. Unless they were afraid of us. Of what? That we'd regain our power and rule. So they needed us to believe we were cursed. Well, that's not right. I mean, it's not right. Help! If you are the all-powerful creator, you will snap to and fix your creation situation by almighty decree or by instant accession of the whole female sex to full equality with the male sex, because it's clear that waiting for humans to right these wrongs is not working. No? I mean, if God is love, you'd think. No, we have been phenomenally patient. You owe us females a completely new deal, not to mention piles of reparations. So you and I have got to take a break until you come up with a way better way. So, catch you later.
I'm here.
That went well. I know what you didn't want to say.
What didn't I want to say?
One God was worse for women than the ancient Greeks had been.
But you got there. But you can't be owned, Missy. Like a wild thing. You'll rebel. You'll tell it straight. Like the story we have to hear. You were never unaware of this injustice. You just never let it swamp you. But now you're looking straight at it. So now I know something wild will be born. New life.
And the one God
was more insidious, widespread, and everlasting in its subjugation of women than any of the pantheons. Think of every religion that pictures Almighty God as a man, whom every woman is taught to worship, and of whom every male assumes he is the surrogate.
Oh my God.
I try not to blame the men.
Naturally.
Well, imagine I'm up on the mountain in a storm, say, watching my sheep or hoping to bag a deer or a lion, because down below they're starving.
Right.
And out of thunder comes a voice. It fills the sky. I'm terrified, but I sense it's God. It's got to be. It's the most powerful thing that's ever happened to me or to anyone. So when I come down from the mountain and tell what happened, I call the voice he.
You're saying it wasn't a plot.
It could have started as a misunderstanding.
Oh, come on.
It was a voice. A voice doesn't have a sex. You might say it sounded like a man, or it sounded like a woman, or it sounded like a spirit. I mean, what would God need with sex?
Well,
we're assuming I'm a man who's out lion hunting, right? And it could be overwhelmed by the power of this force, this voice, this message. I assume it has to be male. I don't even consider it could be other than male, because that's all I know.
You're really straining to excuse men for...
Because why blame men for a deliberate plot to deprive women of their rightful stature, position, dignity, when it could have started with a simple mistake?
A mistake men just added to? So all the crimes, injustice, unfairness that proceeded from that glitch, from assuming wrongly that God had to be male and spread down through the ages, are all just mistakes?
You don't have to buy my theory, but imagine.
Men who wanted to be boss had to push women below them.
Say there is a power who can communicate to a human how things work. So to make this power relatable, they decide to call it God the Father.
Because God the Father sounds friendly?
Yes, except if you're female, it means that your Lord, to whom you must bow, obey, be grateful, is male. Now that's how you were born and grew. Deciding to believe otherwise would upset your world, overturn goodness, safety, order.
So you don't question it?
Of course you don't.
And your lords say you're inferior to males, barred from privileges males have, and subject to males, your father, your brother, your husband.
Yep. And over time, it gets slicker, cozily engulfs you till you're drowned in showers of flowers. All your beloved mothers, cherished daughters, dearest wives.
It's the tender trap. And that's the clincher, because what girl, lucky enough to be baptized in daddy's love, blessed by his favor, honing her flirting skills on him,
Measuring potential mates against him.
will risk questioning daddy's order? Not a chance. She'd be rocking the world where she plants her psychic stability.
Voila. And you wonder why women have never equalized?
So we all fall deeper than did ever plummet sound, like Prospero,
Who manipulated his daughter, as I remember.
who kept her ignorant. Oh, brave new world that has such people in it. But I've always loved men.
Tempted your devil?
And I just took to them. I got men like they were a part of me. Did I trap myself? Don't look so innocent. You're a beneficiary.
Did you wish you were a man?
No, God, no. I just wanted to do what they were, go on adventures. I never wanted to fuss with recipes or shop. I hate shopping.
And a culture treats women like objects.
Women act out the trivial place they've been assigned. Bull piddle.
To God's ears.
I'd leave the kitchen after dishes, not chatting with the women. I'd go sit with the men.
Well, and watch the game.
Oh, to hear their talk. If they went out hunting, I'd help. Guess I wanted men's approval, but not as an object, as a doer. Did that make me a woman hater?
Maybe a hater of women's place.
But I never wanted to be a man. I'm sure attraction to men was part of it. That's a girl motive, right? I felt lucky the women let me leave the kitchen because I was a kid.
You expected you'd have to take a woman's place when you became one?
I suppose I dreamed I'd make my own place. But I never felt disrespected.
Maybe presenting yourself as their equal, let the men accept you.
Or I set a trap for myself by hacking a path around my place, refusing to see the patriarchal exploitation. To become aware of it, confront it, become actually feminist, I'd have to stop my male identifying, right? I'll bet that's why we're still unequal. Women would rather live as well as we can unequally than risk the lives we have fighting for an equal world. No one wouldn't rather love than go to war with your lover's whole sex.
No, I think most intelligent women are in the fight, but
One flash nearly radicalized me. My dad, benevolent leader, disagreed when I said businesswomen belonged in his Kiwanis Club. He said, that can't happen. What? He was raising 3 daughters, valued his female employees. Hell, he gave me a job, a salary at age 13, made me feel there was nothing I couldn't do. How could he say women couldn't be allowed in his club?
wow, so Daddy God showed his stripes.
I had a fiery reaction. A force struck me like a jolt through my bloodstream. It surged like real danger. And all I could think was, is this fury? It felt like fire that could kill inside me. Maybe it hid inside because I couldn't let myself have such a deadly rage against my father. I loved him. I felt betrayed, yes, but also terrified by that fury.
So you couldn't respond.
Well, the fury stopped me, but maybe it was primal, to show me what I needed, that my rage could be stopped only by retribution. No, compensation, which had to be the annihilation of all injustices committed against my sex since forever.
There's your goal.
Love. You save me every time.
Did my job then? Trivia alert. She rescues him right back.
Forget that. I knew if I tapped your phenomenal brain.
Your prerequisite for my godly position, remember? But remember your mom.
You loved my mom.
Well, her constant joke was she was smarter than your dad. But she still taught you.
Oh, man was king. Serve him first, give him the biggest slice. Woman is second after her man.
Might have saved time if you'd been terrified.
But I accepted my place. Let my brain be washed, permed and glossed.
Except you cheated. You told yourself, all right, then my king has to be better than me, smarter.
Kinder, more powerful. So I'll be happy as his second. I rationalized. I chose to be second.
Slow down.
A scheme so cruel, so unfair. Where's our self-respect? What's wrong with women?
I think it's just you go along to get along in order to shield your children.
Oh, it's more than that. I avoid conflict. I'm afraid to fight. I mean, even if sexual abuse hasn't diminished, or trafficking, or slavery, or execution for adultery.
You do know you can't solve everything.
But I never even...
You haven't fought for your sex because there's something you love more. Your country.
What?
Freedom and justice for all is what you always fight for until it comes true. Now that's who you are. You've never been missing in action, my love. Don't kid yourself.
Oh, my darling. I suspect sexual attraction and power are entwined, maybe inextricably, like the double helix of a DNA inside our male-female hierarchies. What do you think? No doubt in every flavor or gender, desire and domination play off one another.
Luring us all to pair bond.
Aren't you watching? They've confirmed him.
No!
They can't. No.
Didn't they hear her? Christine is our St. Joan.
But they did hear her.
They just didn't care. Like the fathers of the church with Joan.
No!
This is unbelievable, sweetheart. But right now, there's nothing we can do.
What's wrong with them, Dad? They learned nothing the last time they did this. That was so long ago, I wasn't even born.
I'm sorry you have to see this, Joy. It's an apocalypse.
After all she went through just to speak? After all those men believed her?
Sweetheart, clearly they've got no shame and no justice. Now, I have to see your mother now. We'll call you back soon as we can. Helen? I'm here.
What can I tell my daughter? Oh, God. God. No, don't lose it. Don't. I had a tiny girl child. Bright, hope of the world. Yes, you know that feeling? If you've had a child, or you can imagine it, yes? Fresh, new, all life is born in her eyes until she's told no.
No, Joy, listen, nothing was so bad as this. This integrity, this failure is catastrophic. No, yes, your mom can't talk just yet. Work it out. You don't have the perspective. No, I'm not saying you don't feel as much as she does. You're a recent comer to these woman wars. I'm not laughing at you. When will you figure that out? It's not just Kavanaugh's crime. It's our country. Can we trust our institutions? Yeah, but not just because it's my field. This confirmation is an avalanche, burying a generation's progress. Everything we thought we'd settled. So your mom is buried under well, millennia. But she'll rise and emerge into light. You know her. She won't quit till she can view the world clear, until she brings it round to please her. Yeah. Thanks. Try to sleep. The man la guerre commence. I promise. Love you too. Bye.
No, baby girl, you are not who you feel yourself to be. You'll learn it soon. Your Father God, He will teach you who you are. And that's how it's done. How a table full of men do it. If God is male, then males are God. Bob doesn't like that. Mary Daly said that. But the truth is, he likes calling God she more than I do. To me, it just feels like picking a fight. But now I do see everything God the Father means, and he feels like a chasm opening at the feet of all women who ever were. Can you see it? That chasm? Or if you're a man, can you see what he means for any woman you ever thought you loved? Bob!
I'm here.
I betrayed our baby girl. I didn't fight. And what can I tell her to believe in? Not this country. Everything I believed in, my country, my church, my God, betrays women.
It's not just you. I've known it too, but no one believed the denial of justice could get so flagrant.
Until this nominee's shamelessness ripped the scab off my complacency.
We're not quite ready yet.
But I am, Dad. So I'm making a statement, ready or not. I'm typing and sending it now. Can you hear me?
Joy.
It's a quarter century since the last sexist rose to the Supreme Court. Today's charge, assaulting a minor, is even worse than what the last guy did, but these men in charge care even less. So, it is agreed that powerful males are so likely to make offensive and criminal assaults on females that such acts must be overlooked.
Otherwise, most males would be disqualified from moving up their respective ladders. You're right, Joy.
These men's sexist behavior is way more than a lack of sensitivity. It is willful rejection of women by men, which we women
have been chipping away at for centuries without ever revealing the gigantic below-surface iceberg of male prioritizing that will always overwhelm our token efforts to drag ourselves up to the tipping place. What tipping place?
The tipping place after which no female on earth will be born believing she is less than any male.
God, that's it. This tipping place is your lever and your place to stand.
Give me a lever and a place to stand, and I will move the earth. Way to go, Archimedes and Dad.
Mama, meet your warrior child.
Oh, I am so sorry, Joy. I have failed you unforgivably.
Failed me? You kicked me off. Have you forgotten Lily the Rebel?
Who?
Your suicidal comic who wants to be Joan of Arc. You wrote her for your Communication 208 students. I'm sending you Lily now. Got her?
Oh, this. How did you ever find?
Give me credit. I keep track. She says it all, Mom. Do Lily for me now.
With pig eyes? Perfect! God knows we need a party.
I can't. After all that I've just...
But if you do, you'll be ready to finish our climb.
Our climb?
She's right, Helen. Trust your child. Give us Lily.
There's a statue of Joan of Arc on a pedestal. Lily will meet Joan and go along on her battles, but Lily's costume is skimpy leather and lace. She's ready for her stand-up gig.
Oh, go Lily.
Hiya. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a good-looking load of art lovers. Ah, you're looking at me funny. It's my macho erotica outfit. Don't be scared. I promise not to scare the audience. Picture it. Your daughter comes home dressed like this. What advice do you give her? I told the shop boy, put me in something that will attract men. Ta-da! It does work. Trust me. Of course, the men I'm attracting aren't exactly what I had in mind. Not that they care down at Pig Eyes Lounge, where I provide a social service. No, it's not what you think. What I am is a reality check for guys sauteing their livers in rat gut who think they're wasted until they get a load of me. They relax when they witness my level of confusion. See, all I ever wanted out of life was to be president, save the mother-loving country like Joan of Arc, lead the crowd, first on the field. That's me. Huh. They wouldn't even let me on the debate team. And I was smarter than any of them, dedicated to saving the nation. But all they wanted to hear was I doing anything Friday after the game? So I ran for president of the sophomore class, got big crowds, had them in stitches. But did they vote for me? Ha! Next election, Jerry Stiles, the president, corners me. Political caucus, he says. Bull piddle. He wants to know if he takes me to junior prom, will I write jokes for him? Jokes! But I could get them laughing. I had irony. That's when the big boys are wringing your neck, but you stand there with purple skin, point to yourself saying, ha ha, and they loved me. When I was funny, when I put on a show. So I did. I dwindled into an act, a little song, little soft shoe. And I did try to be a modern woman. But I'm always slipping off the plank. I mean, circumstances lead you. Rape, abuse, cellulite. No wonder I'm a mess. Still, it's great to have an audience that's not passed out. I'm not counting your husband, ma'am. You're welcome. See, Cheltenham hired me because they didn't get the word about what I'm likely to do on their stage to their audience. I notice you're not laughing anymore. Sorry. Look, Pig Eyes just canned me, met me at the stage door and axed me. I've got this problem with my mouth. I can't stop it. I can't plug it. Before I know it, it's just spouting the most, well, profane. Yeah, profanities. That's the word he used. Ha! Hilarious. That fat slime ball calling me profane. Says I freak his customers. They stop buying booze, start shrieking about, throw tables at the walls, climb on stage and beat me to a bloody... But there were mitigating factors. I was in deep grief. Joey. Oh God, Joey. When the last thing I could put my skin against, even if he was stinking drunk, There was some blood pressure there, some tactile presence, but no more. Joy split. It was the mouth again. Oh, baby, my hilarious mouth. It probably never occurred to you girls. And it might be having a devastating effect on your life, but it is a statistically proven fact that men are afraid of making love to a comic. And if you think about it, you don't want to think about it. No, stop lying, Lily. Want to know why Joey left? Same reason the rotkids threw tables at the walls. I drive men to explode, to splatter the ceiling. An hour with me and any young on legs is ready to jump off the Brooklyn. Hey, I want a story. A true story. A funny thing happened on the way to confession. Oh, don't laugh. We need religion. Where else are we going to turn? The Godfather?
Bless me, Father, I have sinned.
Joan? Are you here? I've been looking for you. I really need.
Lily falls in front of Joan's statue just as Father Thomas enters, sees Lily, and moves to lift her.
No! Stop. I knew all that. I wrote Lily, who's killing herself, while for my daughter, I did nothing.
What? Nothing? Who did you write Lily for? You wrote, and I saw her. That's not nothing.
Skip to the end. You're one step from the tipping place. I want to see you get there.
Yay, Dad, I know all this, so I can be Joan. Look at me, there. So here we are. Lily idolizes Joan, so she goes with her through all her battles, till Joan has won everything and says, just like you taught it to me, Mom. One as small as me who with an open heart sees evil and cries, no, this cannot be, can make it so.
But the fathers of the church condemn Joan and light her on fire.
No, not this time.
But as Joan burns, she calls out to Lily.
They'll burn me as long as they can. See me, Mom? They'll burn us as long as they can, but they can't anymore, can they?
Not if we fight the fight. So good to see you, Joy.
We're almost there. It's when Joan says to Lily, make me your beginning.
I remember. She says, light my way. I live in you.
See, Mom? Dad knew. You gave us a lever. Ta-da!
So let's move the world.
All together now.
On!
I, Kamala Davy Harris, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all